The year is 2019, and 18-year-old Vayna has just graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA. She got direct admit into business school at the University of Washington in Seattle, and she drops out before the college quarter even begins. Primed and ready to go, why did I drop out of college 4 years ago, and what has happened since? Hey, what's up? If we haven't met, my name's Vayna. I'm 22 in Seattle, and since dropping out of college, I have been selling and wholesaling real estate full-time, and June 2023 marks the month and year that I would have graduated college if I had gone, so I figured it a great time to reflect and chat about my decision to drop out of college in the first place. College is such a hot topic. I feel like as the years go on, it's becoming more of a normal thing to not go to college, thank goodness. And let me tell you, the decision to drop out was not an easy one. Right after I did it, it felt easy, but leading up, there was so much uncertainty of, can I do this? Can I make it in life without a college degree? Will I make it in real estate? In general, I struggle with making huge decisions, so I still remember how I was racking my brain that whole summer on what I should do. It was also hard to watch all my friends get ready to go to college and being one of the few who didn't go. But ultimately, I'm very happy with my decision. So much has happened that I don't even think about anymore, and I honestly cannot imagine my life if I'd stayed in college. So I'm just gonna chat about what the big factors were for me and the trigger that made me say, screw it, no college, let's try this real estate thing. So let's get into it. All right, so a little bit about my background, because I do think it's important to the decision and just being able to drop out. I still live at home at 22, despite making my own money, because it makes no sense to pay for rent when I'm living for free. I have just recently bought my own house, so I'll be moving out soon, but the point is, when I was fresh out of high school, I didn't need to make money right away. So I didn't have pressure to create income. The second thing is I come from a family that taught me entrepreneurship. I grew up listening to OG thought leaders like Earl Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, and Jim Rohn. I still remember from when I was a kid, and the only thing Dad would play in the car was these guys' cassette tapes. So I was constantly hearing, you've got to have goals, be the employer, not the employee. Don't work for money, make money work for you. Get rid of your limiting beliefs. Don't listen to anyone who says you can't do it, etc. No one ever told me I couldn't run a business, and my parents supported whichever route I wanted to take. My dad is in real estate, so he showed me the ropes, but he never threw me a lead, and he showed me how to fish. And working with family has its own set of pros and cons, and I can't deny the privilege of having a direct connect in the industry that I wanted to work in. I hear it all the time that she's only successful because of her dad. It's only because her dad works in real estate, and that sucks. But I honestly think that above dad being in real estate, me learning about mindset and goals early on is more so what got me to where I am today. So it's not something I realized at the time, but especially as I started telling my story on social media, I have learned that being able to drop out of college is a privilege in itself. So, on dropping out, there were a few big things going around in my mind when I was deciding between college and real estate. Let me also say, I could have done both. I now have friends who have had a lot of success doing both, and I did contemplate it at one point to do college and real estate at the same time. But knowing myself, I can only give my all to one thing or another. College and real estate are two full-time gigs, and while it would have been possible to do both, I'm 99% confident that I would not have made as much as I have in real estate if I had gone to university. So I pretty much put the decision in my own hands. If I was going to college, I was going to give it my all. If I was going to do real estate, I was going to give it my all. So Vayna, just pick one. And which one did I want more? That's the thing, because in high school, I wasn't sure if I wanted to become a real estate agent. Dad had done it my whole life. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. I was very business-minded. I was very money-minded. And I applied to business school because I had this idea of getting a corporate job where I could climb the ladder and eventually earn some kind of executive position at a corporation. But even that, I was like, do I want to work for someone else? I don't know. I grew up learning that I should work for myself. So obviously, in came the crossroads. And so looking back, it really came down to two things that I kept going back and forth on, and then the one deciding factor that made me pull the trigger. So first thing, number one, do I need college? Simple answer is no, right? You won't die if you don't go to college, and you don't need college to be an entrepreneur or sell real estate. But if I chose real estate, did I want to get a degree as a backup plan? My mom was kind of in favor of college as a backup plan. She's a very safe person. She was like, just go get a bachelor's degree, just in case, you know. But in short, and because I think the next point is a lot more relevant, I decided that I don't need college because one, I could always go back, and two, that would be giving myself an out if I chose real estate. I could have been like, I actually don't like talking to strangers and asking them to sell their house. Let me go use my degree. But in general, and because I also want this to be an advice video, let me just say that you do not need college if you know what you want to do in life and you know that it doesn't require a degree. If you want to be a doctor, yes, you need to go to college in like 99% of cases, right? I'm very much a never say never person, but doctors, lawyers, teachers, you all need to go to college. If you want to get into real estate or start an e-commerce business or do real estate investing, you do not need a college degree. It is 100% false that you need college to be successful in life, and whether you go to college or not does not define you or your worth as a person in society. It is freaking crazy that people judge those who don't have degrees, and it just shows how ingrained college is in the fabric of our society, but it's totally arbitrary. It's just a bunch of buildings and a piece of paper that says you did something. Remember that while starting a business doesn't guarantee you make money, getting a college degree doesn't guarantee you get a job. So number two, and more importantly, is college in line to my end game? So more so than is college necessary, the next thing I contemplated on is, will college help me get to where I want to go? I think by this point I had decided that my end game was real estate, basically making money selling real estate and then eventually buying rentals so that I could retire young. And I had started my online real estate school after I graduated, so now I was deciding whether college is going to help me with this goal. Real quick, Vena here, just wanted to pop in and introduce myself just in case you're wondering who the heck is this 22-year-old girl selling real estate and how can I get into this? I started my real estate business when I was 19, started out straight cold calling sellers for business and working with buyers. There are a couple platforms that I use to start up that I get questions about all the time, and so I've actually compiled all of the resources that I have used to build my business into one place. The link is in the description below. We've got list builders, dialers, presentation, marketing tools, wholesaling software, all of that good stuff, everything that I have personally used to close more deals. Link will be in the description so you can check out. I've partnered with all these companies to get you free trials and samples of things. So check that out. Let me know your questions in the comments down below, and let's get back to the video. Sure, I probably would have learned a thing or two in college, probably would have made some good connections that would help me later, but here's the thing, I've done both of those things in immense amounts and likely way more effectiveness in the last 4 years without going to university. I've learned a ton by going to real estate events, by paying for coaching, by learning directly from people who have already walked the path, from literal millionaires. I've networked with business owners and people like me who are selling real estate, selling 100 houses a year, they own 100 units, you name it. Real estate investing is actually a pretty small world and you get familiar pretty quick. But that's the thing is like, yes, I would have learned in college, but I think I learned a lot more relevant information by going out into the real world. And so the two looming things that I would have given up by going to college were time and money. Classic, right? 4 years for a degree, tens of thousands of dollars for tuition. No one was paying for me to go to college. I would have had to work my way or take out student loans or both. And I always say, if I could have gone to college for free, I totally would have. I would have gotten my business degree, made a bunch of friends, had the college experience, right? But it still would have costed time. Plus, the last thing I wanted to do was enter my 20s with a ton of student debt. It is crazy to me that people go into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt for worthless degrees because society told them to do so. We all know this is a huge problem in America, and I meet so many people who wish they never went because they couldn't even get a good paying job with that degree, or they just didn't use the degree altogether. And then on the time part, you know, I was still early in life, but if my goal was to retire in my 20s from rental properties, or, you know, at least have the option to work or not work, then I needed to get going. I didn't want to spend 4 years in school when I could be out there spending that same amount of time to hustle in real estate. So here's the kicker, my big deciding factor. This is what led me to log into UW and submit my withdrawal. I was like, I could go to college, or I could take that same 4 years that I would spend racking up debt and earning a piece of paper to try the real estate thing. I could go a year, even 4 years, and not make a single dollar in real estate and still have a higher net worth than if I had gone to university. And with that, I withdrew from college and got my real estate license. So how did my parents take it? Good question, because, you know, I was in high school, obviously. I was talking to my parents about this decision. My dad has actually been telling me that I should not go to college since I was in 3rd grade. So I was actually just by considering college, I was already going against what he wanted for me. And my mom, like I mentioned, was kind of that voice in the back of my head that was suggesting go to college for a backup plan, right? She's a backup plan person. But I was like, you know what? I'm kicking it with you guys. I don't need to pay to live. And I could probably go like this for a couple of years. Like I could go a couple of years without making money in real estate and I'd be fine. I wouldn't die. I wouldn't be on the streets. And I think, you know, my underlying little trigger too was like, let me just try it for a year. And if I hate it or if I don't succeed, then I can go to college. You know, I was essentially taking a gap year. But yeah, the whole time my dad was like, no, don't go to college. Don't go to college. My mom was like, maybe you should go to college. So there wasn't too much proponent for college in my environment, if you will. And honestly, I was considering college because I probably didn't believe that I could do real estate, or I thought that I needed a safety net. So I'm actually really proud of myself for taking the leap and betting on myself. Since then, I've been working real estate full time. It took me 6 months to make my first check in real estate. I was just driving other agents around and working on my scripts and finally mustered up the courage to start talking to strangers to earn that business. Again, no one ever gave me free business. I had to go figure out how to do it on my own. And now I've got a team of more than 12 agents now who don't come from real estate backgrounds and are making tons of money and doing lots of deals and having lots of success, also pretty young as well. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to reflect back, but I don't think everyone should drop out of college and we should abolish college. But I do think society is wrong for telling everybody that everybody needs to go to college, because it's just not true. It's not the path for everybody. Like, why would you put someone who doesn't need an institutional education to do what they want to do with their life through college? It's not fair. And it is affecting our economic GDP that we've got all this student debt. But I digress. That is my story. That's why I dropped out. It's how I made the decision. Let me know what your questions are. I know this is a big thing for a lot of people, whether they should go to college, whether they should drop out, especially if you're thinking about real estate. I feel like it's becoming such a popular option now. I have mentioned college in other videos, but I think this is my first one about college. So that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you need help with. Check out the links down below. Lots of sponsors in this video and everything I've done to build the real estate business and how you can do it too. Because my big thing now, having found success in real estate and working on retiring in my 20s, is to help Gen Z do it too, because it is possible. People don't believe in us, but there is tons of money out there. There's tons of opportunity out there. And all we have to do is take the action and go get it. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks for being part of the community, and I will see you in the next one.